One is a Rada-trained actress who spent decades dedicated to her career, her nomadic thespian lifestyle putting paid to any prospect of romantic stability. The other is a Cambridge-educated economics professor for whom family was the crux of her existence, until they were wiped out in a cataclysmic event. Given their different trajectories in life, one wouldn't really expect the paths of these two women to have crossed. But this week it was revealed that Fiona Shaw, an Olivier Award winner and star of the hit BBC dramas Killing Eve and Mrs. Wilson, and Dr. Sonali Dharaniyagala, who survived the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami in Sri Lanka that took the lives of her husband Stephen, 2 sons, and parents, are now married. After reading Moid, the critically acclaimed 2013 memoir that Sonali wrote about her ordeal, Fiona was reportedly so blown away that she requested a meeting in New York, where she was starring in a Broadway production, and Sonali is a visiting professor at the School of International and Public Affairs at the city's Columbia University. An unlikely friendship blossomed, which turned into something more and led to the marriage that Fiona, 60, recently revealed in a newspaper interview. It's a love story no one saw coming, and of which there are very few details. For someone who consistently shied away from discussing her private life and for years was seen as rather an enigma, Fiona's public affirmation is testament to her feelings for tragic and brave Dr. Dharaniyagala, 54. I didn't really have a domestic life because I was always working. But I do have one now, which I love, she said. Famously secretive, Fiona had never previously discussed her private life, relationships, or sexuality, once telling an interviewer who probed, "I wish I knew myself. I'm a very private person who comes from the provinces, who's as surprised by the way my life is lived as anyone else." Meanwhile, the family of Sonali's late husband Stephen, 40, who was killed by a 30-foot wave along with their children Nikhil, 7, and Vikram, 5, and Sonali's parents, are said to be happy that she has found happiness again. Stephen's father, Peter Lissenberg, 82, the retired lorry driver from Tilbury, Essex, said, "It didn't shock me, but it did surprise me a bit that she had found love with another woman. But she lost so much and went through such heartache. Now that she's found happiness, that's all I care about." Clearly she wanted to build a new life where there are not as many memories of what her life used to be like. While Fiona has not experienced grief on anywhere near the scale of her wife, she too knows the pain of unexpected loss. Born in Ireland to an eye surgeon father and physicist mother, she was studying philosophy at Cork University when her brother Peter died in a car crash, aged 18. He was going to a rugby match with friends. When he died, it stopped me. I was just having my debut at the RSE, playing Celia and As You Like It. It was devastating. This was perhaps the catalyst for what she describes as a melancholy predisposition. "I'm not a depressive by nature," she once said, "but I have enormous sadness in me. I can see it in my face." Every year she'll return to her brother's grave, where he is buried next to her grandmother, grandfather, and great-uncle. "The dead are part of your life," she said, elaborating on her experience of losing a loved one in another interview. "What I realized is that if you are close to someone who died, you suffer grief, Of course, but also people close to you suffer grief because of your grief. That can make you the object of revulsion as well as sympathy. They are sentiments that may not be widely understood but will perhaps have resonated with Sonali, who survived the tsunami by clinging to a branch of a tree, and has since struggled with how to share with strangers the horrifying enormity of her bereavement. "How can I reveal this to someone innocent and unsuspecting?" she has said. "With those who know my story, I talk freely about us, Steve, our children, my parents, about the wave. But with others I keep it hidden, the truth. I keep it under wraps because I don't want to shock or make anyone distressed." She and her family were 4 days into a holiday at the Yala Safari Beach Hotel on Sri Lanka's southeastern coast on December 26, 2004 when Sonali spotted the ocean looking a little closer to the hotel than usual, before a 30-foot wave engulfed the beach and raced towards their building. She and Stephen, her university sweetheart, fled with their children. So panicked was their escape, there was no time even to alert her parents, who were staying in the next room. They jumped into a passing jeep and at first she thought they had escaped the wave, but then the vehicle was swamped and overturned. Sonali was swept for nearly 2 miles by the force of the current. She would later write, "I was being dragged along and my body was whipping backwards and forwards. I couldn't stop myself. When at times my eyes opened, I couldn't see water.